In the 1970 to 1971 season, Tottenham Hotspur, under the guidance of legendary captain Bill Nicholson, thrilled fans by writing an emotional journey in the 1971 season English League Cup and asserting their position in the national championship. With a generation of talented players combining the flamboyance, technique, and steel of classic English football, they brought home the League Cup after a victory over Aston Villa at Wembley and finished third in the First Division. They not only reaped the title but also shaped the to-do style. Dare to think, dare to do, attack, and dedicate became the identity, but behind the moments of lifting the trophy, behind the resounding cheers in the White Hart Lane stands, that day are people with very unique fates. More than 50 years have passed. Time is like a harsh sculptor carving different shapes into their lives. Some have become living symbols. Some have found peace in foreign lands. But there are also heroes of the past who had to stop their journey in tragedy and regret. Let's calm down and look back at the ups and downs of the players who made up the soul of Tottenham Hotspur in 1971. Pat Jennings, the legendary goalkeeper from Northern Ireland, begins his story as Tottenham's goalkeeper in the 1977 season. At 25, he was an impenetrable wall distinguished by his giant hands. An incredible composure, Jennings not only blocked powerful shots but also turned each tackle into an art form. As the last line of defense and the unwavering faith of his teammates, he kept clean sheets in many important matches, helping Tottenham to the brink of glory. Pat Jennings' career was a long and illustrious one. He continued to play for Tottenham for many more years before making a big splash by moving to arch-rivals, Arsenal. However, Jennings' talent and personality were so great that he was revered by both sides of London. He played at the top level until the age of 41, setting a world record for the number of appearances for the national team at that time, and even participating in the 1986 World Cup. Pat Jennings' personal life was as calm and steady as his way of catching the ball. He was a family man, away from the scandals that are common among footballers. After retiring, he devoted his time to his passion for golf and charity work, always maintaining a gentle smile and the modesty of a gentleman. There is a strange connection between Pat Jennings on the pitch and off. If in goal, he is a solid support for his teammates. Then in real life, he is a spiritual pillar for his family and a model ambassador for football. His calm, unpretentious personality has carried over into his life, helping him to pass smoothly through his post-career years. Today, at 79, Pat Jennings is still a living legend, a regular at Tottenham's stadium as an advisor and ambassador. His hair has turned white, but the giant hands that once frustrated the world's best strikers are still there, waving to the fans in absolute respect. Cyril Knowles, a 26-year-old left-back for Tottenham in 1971, was the epitome of the modern fullback, solid in defense but also keen to get forward to help attack. With his deft left foot and accurate crosses, Knowles became a dangerous weapon on the left flank. The love of the fans was clearly shown through the song "Nice One Cyril" that echoed throughout the stands, honoring his radiant smile and emotional playing style. After his peak years at White Hart Lane, Cyril Knowles continued his football career as a coach. He led small clubs such as Darlington and Torquay United, bringing new life to them with the attacking football philosophy he had instilled in his youth. Knowles' life was always filled with laughter and optimism. He was known as a funny, sociable man, always the center of parties, and a sincere friend to all his colleagues. It seemed that the dynamism and enthusiasm on the touchline years ago followed him into every corner of his daily life. His career and life are a happy song, a perfect reflection of the defender who always rushes forward with a burning heart. It is believed that with that energy, Knowles will contribute to English football for many more decades. However, that happy song was cut short, suddenly and tragically. On August 30th, 1991, Cyril Knowles died at the age of 47 from a malignant brain tumor. His passing at such a young age left behind an endless grief. Nis 1. Cyril is still sung, but now it carries with it the everlasting memory of a talented and ill-fated defender. Joe Kinnear, a 24-year-old right-back from Ireland, was the counterpart to Cyril Knowles on the other side of Tottenham's 1977-71 flank, tough and full of fighting spirit. Kinnear did not rely on fancy techniques, but on strength, speed, and determination to play. He was a silent hero, always ready to take on the most difficult tasks to protect the goal, contributing to the perfect balance of the Rooster defense. Kinnear's playing career, however, ended prematurely at the age of 30 after a serious knee injury. But as one door closed, another opened. He became a charismatic manager best known for his spell at Wimbledon, the so-called Crazy Gang, and later for his turbulent years at Newcastle United. Kinnear's life was never short of headlines. He was known for his outspoken, sometimes fiery personality and his unabashed comments. But behind that tough exterior was a man who loved football passionately, a devoted husband and father who tried to protect his family from the storms of public opinion. The image of a warrior on the pitch seemed to have been fully applied to his life. Kinnear fought on the pitch, fought on the bench, and finally fought his illness. In his final years, he faced vascular dementia, an opponent he could neither tackle nor stop. And the journey of that warrior finally had to stop. On April 7th, 2024, Joe Kinnear passed away at the age of 77. His passing is a reminder of a generation of tough players who lived and gave their all, whether their lives were filled with controversy or glory. Martin Peters, the brains of Tottenham in the 1977 season, shone at the age of 27 like a true genius. Dubbed 10 years ahead of his time, Peters joined Spurs as a 1966 World Cup winner, bringing with him rare experience and sophistication. His playing style was so elegant and intelligent that he was nicknamed the Phantom because of his ability to appear unexpectedly in the penalty area to score goals. His 9 goals this season were a clear demonstration of that sharpness. Peters was not only a creator, but also a match winner thanks to his superior tactical thinking. After leaving Tottenham, Peters continued playing for Norwich and Sheffield United before retiring. He chose not to take the noisy coaching path, but instead worked in the insurance industry and later became a football ambassador. Martin Peters' personal life was that of a typical British gentleman, polite, discreet, and humble. He rarely spoke of past glories, always maintaining a respectful attitude towards everyone. Peters found joy with his family in peaceful afternoons, a complete contrast to the excitement of the stadiums he had conquered. His intelligence and composure on the pitch are a reflection of his true self. Off the pitch, a man who does not need to be noisy to be noticed. His value lies in his efficiency and class. He lives a full life, respected not only for his talent, but also for his noble character. However, in the last years of his life, the genius's brain was eroded by the terrible Alzheimer's disease. On December 21st, 2019, Martin Peters passed away. At the age of 76, his departure left deep sadness for English football, but the memory of a gallant midfielder who elevated the art of moving without the ball will be immortal forever. Steve Perryman, an interesting phenomenon in the Tottenham squad of the 1977 season, entered the field at the age of 19 with a maturity rarely seen in a defensive midfielder. He was a tireless sweeper, making up for his lack of experience with enthusiasm and an extremely sharp ability to read situations. This season was the stepping stone for Perryman to start his journey, to become a legend who would later hold the record for the most appearances for Tottenham. Perryman's career has been one of loyalty. After nearly 2 decades at Spurs, he took an exciting turn when he moved to Japan to play and coach, becoming one of the pioneers in building Japanese football. Returning to England, he took on the role of director of football at Exeter City. Perryman's life is a testament to hard work. He once suffered a heart attack in the stands in 2012, but with the same extraordinary will as his way of playing, he overcame death to return. There is one core commonality between Perryman on the field and Perryman off the field: dedication. Whether he was a young player in 1971 or a silver-haired director today, he always worked with 100 of his strength and heart. Was not a person who sought personal glory, but always put the collective interest first. Today, at 72, Steve Perryman enjoys a peaceful life after retiring from professional football. He is still considered the true Mr. Tottenham, a living witness to the club's glorious history, and his story of loyalty continues to be a lesson for generations of young players at the Spurs Academy. Alan Mullery, a natural leader and Tottenham captain in 1977-71, at 29, was the heart and soul of the team. He was not only strong in the tackle, but also had a thunderous shot from distance. Mullery scored in crucial finals, always lifting the team's spirits in the most difficult moments. He embodied the desire to win and the spirit of never accepting defeat. After leaving Tottenham, he returned to Fulham and had a successful career as a coach and TV pundit. However, Mullery's life was not all rosy. He bravely spoke publicly about his battle with depression and post-retirement anxiety, psychological problems that were rarely discussed at the time. He worked hard to overcome the darkness to return as a sharp football pundit and an inspirational speaker. The captain's strength and determination on the field seems to be a cover to hide a sensitive soul inside, but it is also that warrior spirit that helps him overcome emotional storms. In real life, Mullery is a straightforward, sincere person, and always willing to share his dark corners to help others. Now, at the age of 83, Alan Mullery still maintains his lucidity and passion for football. Although his health is not what it used to be, he still regularly appears in the media to share his views. His journey is proof that a hero is not someone who never falls, but someone who knows how to stand up stronger after each fall. Mike England, the Welsh giant, stood in front of Pat Jennings' goal at the age of 29 with his towering height and superb aerial ability. He was a pillar of the defense, commanding with natural authority and calmly clearing the opposition's high balls in. The 19,771 season, England's solidity provided a solid foundation for the artists above to show their talent. After retiring from English football, Mike England moved to the United States to play and later became the head coach of the Wales national team for 8 years. Off the pitch, he proved himself to be a talented businessman, owning and running nursing homes. Mike England's life has been an interesting transition from a steely defender to a caring manager. He lives a private life focusing on his business and family, enjoying the fruits of his hard work. There is an interesting contrast here. The man who used to be the terror of strikers because of his fierceness now becomes a caregiver for the elderly. This shows a warm heart behind the rough, thorny appearance of the former center-back. Today, at the age of 83, Mike England is living a comfortable and prosperous life. He has left behind the cheers of the crowd to find peace. Although he rarely appears in public, the name Mike England is always mentioned as one of the best central defenders in the history of Tottenham and Welsh football. Martin Chivers, the brightest star in Tottenham's attack in the 1977 season, shone brightly at the age of 25 with the nickname Big Chiv. He was a nightmare for every defender. Thanks to the speed of an athlete combined with the strength of a boxer, Chivers scored 21 goals in the national championship, including a lifetime double in the League Cup final. As a modern striker, he could create chances and score from many different positions, becoming the sharpest blade of the Roosters that season. After his glory years, Chivers' career took him to Switzerland and Norway before hanging up his boots. Returning to normal life, he became a businessman in the hotel and restaurant industry, and a popular commentator on Tottenham's in-house TV channel. Chivers was sociable, polite, and always had a bright smile. He loved connecting with fans, telling old stories in a humorous tone. The image of a brave and powerful striker on the field has transformed into a successful and dignified gentleman in real life. The confidence he showed in front of the opponent's goal is now shown through his confident demeanor in business and social interactions. Now, at the age of 79, Martin Chivers is still dedicated to Tottenham as an ambassador. He is still a regular at matches. His deep voice still echoes during commentary sessions, and in the eyes of the fans, he will always be the great Big Chiv, the man who brought home trophies with his tireless feet. Alan Gilzean, the king of White Hart Lane, shines at the age of 32, although not as agile as when he was young, but he has a great intelligence. He plays as a second striker, creating a wall and assisting Chivers to score. Gilzean's backheaders and delicate touches have become his own trademark. He is the perfect piece, the glue that holds together the attacking style of the entire Tottenham team. However, Gilzean's post-retirement life is shrouded in mystery. After hanging up his boots, he almost completely disappeared from the football world, the public. It is rumored that he worked as a truck driver, lived a simple working life, and cut off contact with his old club for decades. He chose solitude, away from the halo that he was once the center of attention. It was not until the last years of his life, thanks to the team's efforts to connect, that he returned to White Hart Lane to the applause of the fans. It was a moment of forgiveness and healing. The contrast between a star who is celebrated by thousands of people and a man who chooses to live a reclusive life, quietly driving a truck on deserted roads, evokes many thoughts about the transience of fame. Gilzean is an artist on the field, but off the field, he is a man with many hidden thoughts. However, that reunion was short-lived. On July 8, 2018, shortly after his return to the public, Alan Gilzean passed away from a brain tumor at the age of 79. His passing left behind grief, but also comfort, as the king was able to return to his castle to receive complete love before closing his eyes. Phil Beal, Tottenham's 26-year-old centre-back in the 1977 season, was a good partner for Mike England, creating a solid steel wall in front of the goal. If England was the giant dominating the space in the air, then Beal was the silent hero on the ground. Without being noisy or ostentatious, he always extinguished potential dangers before they broke out. The 1971 season also had a special meaning for Beal as a redemption with fate after missing the 1967 FA Cup final due to a broken arm. That year, Phil Beal played the entire match and became a key factor in helping Spurs keep a clean sheet in many crucial matches. Phil Beal spent the best years of his life at Tottenham before moving to Brighton and then the NASL. After hanging up his boots, Beal's life was not a smooth one. He worked in security, and even as a driver, there were times when the former Wembley hero was seen struggling to make ends meet. However, he never complained. The composure of a world-class centre-back helped him face the hardships of making a living with a calm and composed attitude. There is a profound similarity between Phil Beal on the field and off-the-field resignation and sacrifice. On the field, he is the foil for Mike England to shine off the field. He accepts a normal, unflashy life, quietly working to take care of his family. He is proof that not every football star has a royal life after retirement, but human dignity always shines. Today, at the age of 80, Phil Beal is living out his retirement peacefully in Wiltshire. He still maintains close ties with Tottenham regularly, attending former player events. Although his hair is white and his steps are slow in the eyes of older Spurs fans, Phil Beal is still the loyal guardian who turned silence into an art of defense. Roger Morgan, Tottenham's 24-year-old left-winger in the 1977 season, was a worthy replacement for the legendary Cliff Jones joining from QPR for a club record fee. Morgan was under a lot of pressure from the start, although he often had to share positions or struggle with injuries that season every time he appeared on the pitch. Morgan always breathed new life into the left wing. His speedy dribbling and precise crosses to set up his teammates were weapons to break the deadlock while also bringing the flamboyance and creativity that characterized Spurs' style of play. Unfortunately, Morgan's career was an unfinished sad song. Persistent knee injuries forced him to retire early, when he was not yet 30 years old, most mature age of a football player. However, Morgan did not give up. He turned to youth training and achieved great success at West Ham United and Tottenham. He was the one who helped to cultivate many great talents for English football later. Outside of football, he actively participated in community projects, helping disadvantaged children through sports. His playing career was as short as an unfinished sprint on the field. But Morgan's life after that was a long and meaningful match. While on the field, he created scoring opportunities for his teammates in his coaching career. He created the future for the younger generation. He turned the pain of having to retire early into motivation to help others shine. Today, at the age of 78, Roger Morgan is still remembered as a devoted teacher. He lives a peaceful life, proud of what he has contributed to the work of growing people. For him, glory lies not only in the trophies but also in the maturity of the students he has guided. Jimmy Pearce, a 23-year-old winger striker, a homegrown product of Tottenham, was the epitome of hard work and versatility. In the 1977 to 1971 season, he emerged as a luxury super sub and was trusted to start the League Cup final against Aston Villa, although he lacked the technical prowess of other stars. Pearce made up for it with his tenacious fighting spirit and absolute discipline. He was the kind of player every coach craved, never complaining and always getting the job done. Jimmy Pearce is one of the rare cases who spent almost his entire peak career with Tottenham before moving to the US for a short time. After retiring, he chose a very normal life right in North London. He did not pursue a professional coaching career but worked in the sports business and participated in local activities. Pearce is a private person who values family and neighborhood. Pearce's loyalty and diligence on the pitch are a reflection of who he is off the pitch. A model citizen, a trustworthy man. He doesn't need the limelight to be happy. For Pearce, just being able to play for his favorite team and live peacefully with his family is a great success. Now, at the age of 77, Jimmy Pearce is still alive and well. He occasionally appears at Tottenham's new stadium, sitting quietly in the stands like many other middle-aged fans. Few people realize that this gentle man was once the one who lifted the cup at Wembley. But for Pearce, that memory is a private treasure that he always keeps in his heart. John Pratt, Tottenham's 22-year-old central midfielder in the 1977 season, was the image of a diligent worker in the midfield. That season, Pratt was often used as a strategic substitute, or to reinforce the midfield when the score needed to be preserved. He did not stand out for his assists or goals, but was a quiet cleaner, running tirelessly, fighting fiercely, and creating a platform for artists like Peters or Mullery to create freely. Fans loved Pratt for his dedication and steady demeanor, calling him Mr. Reliable. After leaving Spurs, Pratt moved to the US to play for Portland Timbers and then returned to work on Tottenham's coaching staff for many years. He has been associated with the club in many roles, from player assistant coach to ambassador. In real life, Pratt is funny, straightforward, and very worldly. He has the ability to tell engaging stories, often the center of conversation, with interesting behind-the-scenes stories about the golden era of English football. John Pratt brings his spirit of service from the pitch to life. In every role he works hard for Tottenham Hotspur. He is the link between the past and the present, the keeper of the team's tradition. His enthusiasm has never faded over the years. Today, at 76, John Pratt remains a familiar figure in the Spurs community. He still participates in commentary, analyzing matches from an insider's perspective. His life is a testament to unrequited and enduring love for a single flag and color. Terry Naylor, Tottenham's 22-year-old defensive midfielder in the 1977-71 season, was the epitome of a hard-nosed player renowned for his determination and fearlessness, earning the nickname Meat Hook. That season, Naylor mainly played as a strategic reserve, but whenever he entered the field, he made his opponents wary. Born and raised in Islington, Naylor had a rough-and-tumble quality, typical of the London streets. His playing style was edgy, fierce, and sometimes overstepped the boundaries of the law to protect the goal, like a bodyguard, ready to take on any difficult task so that his teammates could shine. The most interesting thing about Terry Naylor is that in the early years of his career at Tottenham, he still worked part-time as a porter at the famous Smithfield Meat Market in London, waking up early in the morning to carry meat going to the football field in the afternoon. That was Naylor's life. After retiring, he did not pursue a football career, but returned to a normal working life, once owned a pub. He is the embodiment of the old generation of players, close down to earth, and without distance from fans. The nickname Meat Hook and his job at the meat market have strangely translated into his life. He is bare bones, strong, and straightforward. Without any frills, Naylor represents the working class who see football as a joy, not a way to make billions. His real nature has made him a cult hero for die-hard fans. Now, at the age of 76, Terry Naylor is enjoying his old age. He still retains his frank and straightforward personality. Stories about him working in the market while playing football for the top English team are still told as an interesting anecdote about a primitive but romantic football era.